What's up, quarterback fans, college football fans? Welcome to another QB Spotlight video. And today, or this video, we're talking about Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. What does he need to do to have success against UCLA's defense? What can UCLA's defense present against Colorado? And we're actually going to look at some film of the UCLA defense. We're going to look at 3 clips that hopefully do a decent job demonstrating what you could potentially see if you're Shedeur Sanders in Colorado. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you. We're just a big quarterback hub. We talk all things quarterbacks, and we try to break it down on a little deeper level, at least with some film breakdowns and some recap videos, some preview videos. Then we also have current and former quarterbacks that come on the show and talk ball as well. So that kind of interests you, please consider subscribing, liking. We usually put out a Sheduer video once a week, and we talk a lot with our guy David, Talk Buffs, who does a great job. All right, so with that said, let's dive into Shedeur Sanders. What are the keys? What are you going to do attacking this UCLA defense? So for me, and I know they're coming up the bye week, and they had that big loss against Stanford. Bye week, they've had a lot of time to chew on it. I still think it's the same story, different team. And if you've watched this channel, you've heard me talk about this before. Same story, different team. How can you avoid the pass rush? What can you do offensively to avoid the pass rush? Because UCLA is probably going to get pressure. UCLA is a really good defense. We're going to watch the clips against Washington State, and you're going to see the defense of UCLA getting pressure on Cam Ward, just bringing 3-4 guys. I think there's a clip I show in the videos at the end where they bring 3 guys and get pressure. But for sure, it's 4 guys bringing pressure. Maybe one time they blitz in these clips. So you're going to have to avoid pressure somehow, some way. So I think number one, utilize your legs. You're going to see these clips of Cam Ward. The legs are used some, and whether the play breaks down or it's by design, if you're Sheduer and the offensive play caller, I think you're going to have to use your legs some to slow down the pass rush, but also to gain some yards, get the offense going. You don't want to have another game where they completely stuff the run. And you've seen that several times this year. When they stuff the run, the play action can't get going. And that's part of the offense that Colorado wants to get going, is utilize that play action. Make it easier on them, get guys out of position, right? So try to get the run game going, utilize play action. But I think the key is number one key is utilize your legs to try to slow down the pass rush. The number 2, attack middle of the field. Shedeur's done a great job distributing the ball all over the field this year. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but he's been able to have success. Some games he's attacked in the middle of the field or between the numbers more. In other games, he's had more success going outside the numbers. It just depends on the defense. But I think against UCLA's defense, the middle of the field could be exposed with how they do certain things. You're going to see a lot of UCLA. I'm not smart enough to know all the complexities of the defense, but it's a complex defense. You'll see boundary side as one defense. You'll see field side as something else on the exact same play. You could have man-to-man on boundary or field side, and you could have a cover 3 scheme or a cover 2, or they have what's called cover 6 on field side or boundary side. So it really just depends on what the offense is doing, but it's a complex defense. At least way smarter people are running it than I can break it down. But I do think the middle of the field can be open, right? So I think there's 2 main keys. I think it all comes down to how you slow down the pass rush. But I think number 1, Shedeur's legs. Number 2, use the middle of the field. And we're going to show one of these clips where Cam Ward does a good job getting the ball out quick, even with pressure, and hitting his receiver or tight end. I can't remember, but we'll see in the film down the middle of the field. So with that said, we're going to dive into a few clips breaking down UCLA's defense, so you kind of get an idea of the pressure that they bring and what could potentially be successful against UCLA's defense. And let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are. What do you think Sheduer needs to do as you're watching these defensive breakdowns? Let us know what kind of plays you think could work for Colorado. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And here is the film. All right, so here we got a 3rd and 6. We're going to see UCLA just brings forward. And they get pressure. They get pressure on Ward, and Ward has to scramble and throw the ball away. Again, this is why we think, or this is why we talked about Sheduer using his legs, whether it's designed. It's the same story, different week like we talked about. Find a way to slow down the pass rush. So as far as what the DBs are doing, pre-snap looks like press man, looks like man here, but we're going to see he gives this guy to someone else when he goes in motion, right? So it's like looking at one thing pre-snap, then pro-snap, something else happens, going in motion, right? You're going to pass him along. You can see this DB stays with him, but then this DB has this side of the field. So there's some type of field side, maybe it's man. That's what it looks like, especially with the backer going out here with one of these wideouts or running backs, and then field side looks some type of zone scheme here, right? But let's pay attention to the pass rush. Pass rush, boom, gets in. Again, nowhere to go. I know I got to kind of be choppy. I apologize. And then Ward just throws it away here, right? But again, the pressure comes. It was only They only brought 4, and they got pressure with 5. Common theme for Colorado, right? So if you're Colorado, how do you try to stop this? And let's try to get Sheduer some rollouts. Let's get the ball out quick, but just utilize his legs. Let's go ahead and watch. Let's go watch 2 more clips of UCLA's defense. So here we got a 3rd and 3. Pressure comes. Washington State actually does a decent job here, but you have the option to run or throw in a 3rd and 3 down. We're going to see the middle of the field gets wide open. The DBs bail pretty quickly. It looks like a man coverage scheme with 1 up top safety. Actually, you probably have something going boundary, right, and then field side here. It's like if these receivers were to cross, this DB wouldn't follow this receiver. He would just take this receiver coming this way, if that kind of makes sense. But anyways, regardless, another example of why I think Sheduer can use his legs, whether it's design or scrambling. I think design, he can slow down the pass rush like we talked about. Here we go. They bring 5. They bring 5, right? We see we got man, we got, looks like a cover 1 robber maybe, but with a backer, something like that. But we see pressure actually is picked up fairly well. And then he escapes, pressure breaks through, and then he uses his legs for a 1st down. Able to pick up a 1st down, right? So again, I think you have some potential opportunities for Sheduer to hurt them with his legs. Then they may have to change the defense. Again, slow down the pass rush. How do we do it? How do you avoid doing it? How do you avoid the pass rush coming? Opportunities like this scrambling if you're Sheduer. Let's watch one more clip. We'll try to watch, one more kind of different defensive clip if we can. All right, last clip, we got a 1st and 10, and this is actually a successful pass from Cam Ward. But we're going to see UCLA just brings, I think, 4, maybe 3, and they get pressure. We'll check in a second. But middle of the field, I think, is a good example, like we talked about in the kind of beginning of the video. I think we can attack the middle of the field, especially if pressure does get there. Again, we're going to see one example of a boundary side coverage and a field side coverage. We got this safety all the way over here. 1 safety in the middle of the field. You can kind of, I don't think you can see on the screen. And then we got the safety have some inside technique, playing off coverage by 7 yards, 8 yards, something like that. So, but good job throwing middle of the field by Ward here. Yeah, they bring 4. This is where he's going with the ball right here. That's the whole shot. You got some zone coverage there. Ball comes out now. Really nice job getting the ball out quick. Look, they got pressure with 4 guys. UCLA's front 7's pretty good. Those D linemen are pretty good. The ball gets out, middle of the field, successful throw for Cam Ward there, right? So if you're Sheduer, and if you're the Colorado offense, again, it's the same story, different week. How do you slow down the pass rush? I think get the legs involved. Hopefully the running game gets going so you have some play action, but if it doesn't get going, you have to get the ball out quick, use your legs, and hopefully attack the middle of the field like this clip that we just saw. So if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. It really does help us. And follow us along, and we'll see you next time. Peace.